In this lesson, you will learn why new organisms usually share the basic features of their kind without becoming perfect copies. Look at the family-like group in the image. The younger organisms clearly belong with the older ones, yet small visible details are not exactly the same. That puzzle will guide our learning. Maintenance supports the existing individual, while reproduction adds new individuals. So reproduction is not required for one organism's survival, but it is essential for species continuity across generations. Keep the two outcomes separate. Reproduction supports species continuity. Maintenance, by contrast, supports the existing individual. Maintenance keeps an existing organism functioning, but reproduction adds new individuals. One organism can survive without reproducing, while continued reproduction is necessary for the species to persist across generations over time. That difference tells us why both processes matter. Maintenance and reproduction serve different purposes. One supports the current individual, the other supports continuity across generations. Use the two panels to separate the two purposes. Why is reproduction important even though an individual organism does not need to reproduce to stay alive? Now connect each process to its outcome. Reproduction produces new individuals and is essential for species continuity, while the individual's own survival depends on maintenance life processes. The right panel adds new individuals, while the left keeps the existing individual functioning. Next, we will see what has to be copied, so new organisms can share the same basic body design. The image shows DNA information being copied and carried forward into new biological material. That transfer helps new organisms preserve the same basic body design as their kind. Follow the information pathway from left to right. DNA copying transfers body design information. That transfer helps explain why the basic form is preserved. DNA contains inherited information, and copying carries that information into new biological material during reproduction. Preserving most of the information helps maintain the same basic body design from one generation to the next. Now connect the copied information to the outcome. Copied DNA helps preserve basic body design. The information link explains why new organisms resemble their kind. Trace the pathway once more from the first card to the body outline. What is the main role of DNA copying in reproduction? The information path gives us the answer. DNA copying transfers inherited body design information to new biological material. The copying step carries forward information rather than creating an unrelated body design. Next, we will look closely at how accurate DNA copying is and why small differences can still appear. Most copied DNA information matches the original, but a small difference can still appear. Biochemical DNA copying is highly accurate, not perfectly exact, allowing strong similarity and variation together. The pattern is mostly matching, not perfectly matching. Accurate DNA copying preserves similarity. A small copying difference can still introduce variation. Most DNA information is preserved, so the basic body design remains strongly similar. Because copying is not perfectly exact, small differences can arise without removing the overall similarity between organisms of the same kind. Put the two parts together. Similarity and variation can occur together. High copying accuracy preserves the pattern, while small copying differences prevent perfect identity. Use both the matching markers and the changed marker in your explanation. How can highly accurate biochemical DNA copying produce both similarity and variation? The two visual clues work together. Most DNA information is copied accurately, creating similarity, while small copying differences can produce variation. The image shows many matches alongside one small difference. Next, we will examine what small variation usually does to the basic body plan. The main organisms keep the same basic body plan, while small variations from DNA copying affect limited features. Such variation does not usually produce a completely new body design. Focus on what stays stable while details change. Variation can occur within one body plan. The shared structure remains recognizable even when limited features differ. Because most DNA information is preserved, the basic body plan usually stays recognizable. Small copying differences can alter limited features without making the organism completely different or replacing the shared body design. That helps correct an either-or misconception. Offspring can be similar without being identical. Small variation fits inside a shared basic body plan. Look for the largest shared structure before focusing on the smaller differences. What usually happens to body design when small variations arise during DNA copying? The main group makes the distinction clear. The basic body plan usually remains the same, while limited features may differ. The shared body outline remains even though some details differ. Next, we will see why existing variation can matter when the environment changes. The variations are already present before the environment changes. After conditions change, some variations may help individuals cope or survive better, but organisms do not intentionally create useful variations. The order in the image matters here. Variation can matter after conditions change. A helpful effect does not mean the variation was created on purpose. A variation that matters little in one condition may become helpful after environmental conditions change. Its usefulness depends on the situation, and the organism did not intentionally create or plan that variation. This keeps cause and purpose from getting mixed up. Useful variation is not intentional variation. Conditions can make an existing difference helpful without the organism planning it. Use the order of the panels to test the claim. Why is it wrong to say an organism creates a useful variation because the environment changes? The timing gives the crucial clue. Variation can already exist before the change, and organisms do not intentionally create useful variations. The image shows variation first and environmental change afterward. Next, you will apply reproduction, DNA copying, and variation to a new observation. The organisms share the same major body structure while small details differ, and the information strip mostly matches. Together, those clues support accurate but imperfect DNA copying during reproduction. Use more than one clue before drawing the conclusion. Shared design plus small variation is meaningful evidence. Both similarity and difference belong in the explanation. A good explanation must fit both the strong similarity and the small differences in the observation. Highly accurate but imperfect DNA copying accounts for both clues together without treating the organisms as exact copies. Now weigh the evidence as a whole. One explanation should fit both clues. Accurate but imperfect copying explains similarity and variation together. Bring the similarity clue and the difference clue together. Which combination of observations best supports the idea of accurate but imperfect DNA copying? Now test which evidence combination explains the whole pattern. A shared basic body design together with small individual differences best supports that idea. The strongest support uses both the shared design and the small differences. Finally, we will reconstruct the full lesson answer from reproduction to species continuity. Reproduction uses DNA copying to carry forward body design information. Most information is preserved, while small copying differences create variation, giving similarity without perfect identity and supporting species continuity. The two branches complete the explanation. DNA copying links similarity and variation. Most information is preserved, while small differences prevent perfect identity. Maintenance supports one individual's survival, while reproduction produces new individuals and supports species continuity. Accurate but imperfect DNA copying preserves body design similarity while also allowing small variation among organisms of the same kind. Now the full relationship can stand on its own. Reproduction preserves continuity without perfect copying. Accurate DNA transfer keeps the basic design, while small differences create variation. Use the two branches of the final map to build one sentence. Why does reproduction usually produce similarity without perfect identity? The complete chain now gives the answer. DNA copying preserves most body design information, creating similarity, but small copying differences create variation. The map shows preserved information and small differences working together. You are ready to use reproduction, DNA copying, and variation to explain new examples.